Moving specifically to the Jansen project in Saskatchewan, approval for the project is not imminent, as Paul says. The company says, quote, BHP Billiton is largely committed for the 2013 financial year. No major project approvals are expected over this time frame. Joining us now, Saskatchewan Premier Brad Wall. He joins us from Regina. Premier, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Michael.
Hey, what does this mean for Saskatchewan to wait a year?
Well, this is comparatively good news. It's encouraging from our perspective because in the announcement today, in the statement, we've seen some real delays, indefinite delays in the case of some of those other large mega projects that are on the books for BHP. In the meantime, at Jansen Lake, we see work continuing. In fact, they're talking about increasing the initial capacity for the mine from 2 million to 4 million. That is going to require some re-engineering, which may have been a de facto delay in the full sanction in any respect because of the increased capacity. That's good news for the province. Additionally, there's going to be more people coming to the province to work on site, or people in Saskatchewan working on site. They're expanding that piece as they continue to do this work. And as you mentioned, as Paul's story mentioned, the shafts are they're being sunk in terms of the preliminary work. So given what's happened with other large projects, both from this company and others in the resource side, this continued work is encouraging. We take it as a good sign, and we're also welcoming the fact that BHP's Canadian corporate office now fully in Saskatoon, and this is a company that's contributing significantly to the province, and we look forward to continued progress at Jansen.
Despite that, TD's Craig Alexander told us that this delayed investment would lower your tax revenues, hurt job creation, as well as profit growth. Do you agree, and if so, can you quantify it?
Well, no, our potash royalties, I mean, first of all, the mine would take some years to build. So from a royalty perspective, there's not an impact in the current term, certainly. From a capital investment piece, you mentioned quite rightly, Michael, that we're talking about $1 billion plus close to $2 billion, we think, invested in total in the project, which is creating jobs and economic spin in the province. And so that continues apace because they're not done the pre-commitment work yet. So we don't see this as a fiscal hit at all in the province, because we weren't expecting they're going to continue to deliver what they said they would deliver, and the royalty piece, that's not for some time down the road.
Now, Vale, meantime, said last week they're putting development of that $3 billion potash project on hold. If the project is basically scrapped, or rather if it doesn't get approval, what does that mean for you?
Well, we see BHP continuing to do their pre-commitment work, so that means we're hopeful. We believe ending in an 8 million ton project, the largest mine in the world, and an increase, obviously a significant increase in Saskatchewan production. We also have to remember that K+S recently announced they're going ahead with a greenfield project, and brownfield projects by the 3 other companies that are currently invested here, companies that are also been great corporate citizens and employing a lot of people, both in operations and in expansion. So, we see continued health for the potash sector, jobs being created, and we're fortunate in Saskatchewan, as you know, because we're not reliant on one resource in terms of our resource portfolio. There is uranium, there is oil. In fact, oil, from a fiscal standpoint, is in this year's budget in particular, is going to generate a lot more revenue than all of the other natural resources combined. So we're fortunate to have a diversified portfolio. And one other point I'd make is this, Michael: the crops look very good in Saskatchewan right now. So that, combined with what we're doing in terms of a diversified economy, and people in Saskatchewan are feeling pretty good, and we're looking forward to hopefully leading the nation in growth for the remainder of this year and into the years ahead.
As far as speeding up the mine permit process, you have said that you may throw more bodies at the problem. At what point will you know whether or not that's in fact going to happen?
Whether there will be, I'm sorry, Michael, whether the BHP will be hiring on some more people?
No, whether or not the province will be adding more people to the mine permit staffing department to ensure that future projects get the green light.
Right. Well, we've done it in the past. When one of the advantages we were trying to build is on the permitting side, balancing environmental sustainability with an efficacious and efficient system. And we found on the oil side that we weren't quite as fast as we wanted to be, again, balancing the environmental issues, and so we added resources. We added frontline staff. We don't have the general signal that that's needed on the environmental side in terms of these mines. But if it's presented, if the case is made, we want to be reacting to it. We want to build the Saskatchewan advantage, which is not just about royalty stability, but we also want it to be about an efficient permitting process that obviously takes special consideration for the environment, but provides investors with a timely process.
Give us a sense of the nature of the dialogue that you're having right now with BHP, whose department it is, what's been going on as far as those conversations?
Well, we speak regularly. The ministers involved are in contact. Of course, at the official level, that's the case. For example, today I was on a conference call with officials at BHP to go over the statement after it had been made public. And we are able to have a good dialogue there. And again, ask the question that we always ask, not just at BHP, but others who are investing significantly in the province. And the question is simply, how are things going? And can we be doing some things from our side a little bit more effectively or a little bit differently that would help facilitate this investment? And, you know, we certainly got the sense that, notwithstanding another comment I heard about the environmental process, that wasn't necessarily reflected, but we do have regular dialogues with companies, and not just in potash, but in others. Part of the point of that, the big part of the point there, of course, is to make sure that we're providing an efficient permitting process while still balancing environmental considerations.
Premier, we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thanks, Michael.
Saskatchewan Premier Brad Wall joining us from Regina.